Hello, friends. Um, uh, Sorry, I'll be continuing with the lessons. Don't know if this is the last one or not, but let's travel together. I'd like today to talk about the lesson on always have a constructive input to other people. Not all conversations or meetings deserve your input. I've learned that you cannot be a gossip and also be someone who can say something constructive to other people with the same mouth. There are people who never talk in meetings but are good at speaking about people behind their backs. There are also people who never have anything good to say about other people except for themselves and their families. I choose where, okay, I have multiple personalities. I talk a lot, but I can also be quiet, very quiet. I choose where to input my views. I have learned to avoid destructive conversations. When you are quiet, you become wiser because you give yourself a chance to listen carefully to other people and prepare your input. Although I'm quiet sometimes, I make it a point that I'm not forced to do something that I do not want to do. I do not lose anything by keeping quiet, but I will lose if I do something about a decision that has been taken, especially if it is detrimental to me, my family, or my career. There are some people who do nothing but try to trash whatever you say. Listen carefully to the content of their argument, whether it is in a family meeting or work meeting. I choose the people to argue with. In most cases, I just keep my mouth shut and never say a word. It depends on who you are talking to and what they will do to your input. When I was at university, there was a saying on my wall that said, never argue with an idiot because she will drag you to hell level and then beat you with experience. That is true indeed. Just look at yourself after shouting in public. Consider how stupid and foolish you feel. Rather just walk away. You have nothing to lose. The idiot has experience in being that, so why allow them to drag you to their level? Some people believe that their advice is the only possible advice, and if people do not take it, the world will come to an end. They like to get their own way, to control other people, and take an offense when they think they are not listened to. This has nothing to do with the meeting or with the advice they are giving, but with their sense of self, how they view themselves and others. And you find out that they have low self-esteem in the end because they declare war with you immediately when you do not take their advice. I guess they feel rejected. That's being a control freak, I guess. Lesson that follows about love yourself first and most. I believe in love. I love myself too much. I do. I'm in love with myself. Um, I'm overprotective to myself. This is one thing that has led me to recently apologize to myself for allowing other people to hurt me, for allowing the narcissist to make their problems my problems, for allowing the narcissist to blame me when they have wronged me. It's me, I've made them to do it. Otherwise, it's not their fault, it's forever my fault. So most people have a problem with the people who love themselves. They cannot, okay, people, yes, have a problem with the people who love themselves. People hate themselves too much out there. People cannot even say 5 positive things about themselves. They suffer from self-hate, which results from low self-esteem. You know, there's an exercise that we can all do which helps us to be appreciative of ourselves and to love ourselves. To stand in the mirror and say at least 5 positive things about you. I'm committed, I'm determined, I'm a dreamer, I get what I want, I'm a smiler, I have a smile that infects others, I'm a go-getter, I'm beautiful. Just say positive things to yourself, girl. Like, I love you, girl. You're loaded, you're brilliant, you're sexy, you're confident, you're God's princess, and therefore should walk tall like a princess. How can we love other people when we cannot love ourselves? So we need to develop self-love so that we can infect other people with love. Love is all around us. This is the next lesson. We have a tendency of thinking that if we are women, the only love we have to receive must come from men, and if we are men, the only love that we should get should come from women. This is where we are wrong. Love is literally all around us. Those family members and those children who run to my car when I come back from work to give me a hug and a kiss, show me love. I cannot trade that joy for anything and the fulfillment it gives. I'm not saying we do not need men or women in our lives, because we do. However, love is all around us and overflows from your friends. They are full of love to give, and return your love when you give it. I'm a helpless lover of people and of my family members and of children. Let us love one another. Another lesson is avoid negative responses. Most of the time it happens that people at work or anywhere will say negative things towards you. Some of those things are intended to provoke you so that you become like them. Most of the times we get tempted to respond because we're human beings. During that time, a person who has a problem with herself would drag you to their level. Remember, the person has a battle within themselves. The battle makes them to be their hater, then spread the hate to you because you either threaten them or they are insecure of your achievements. Do not give them the pleasure of responding. I like what one friend of mine said. He said that before you respond, take a deep breath. Imagine that the person who is spitting all the negative words to you is a frog. Then as he or she talks, imagine that the mouth belongs to a frog. Then ask yourself a question which says, if he or she was a frog, would I respond? Would you respond to a frog? Then ask yourself a question that says, if he was a frog, would I respond? Of course, the response would be no. And then ask yourself if you talk to frogs. This is silly, but it is a defense mechanism that has helped me not to respond to some of the negative attacks against me. The thought would make me smile, and the words will not have an impact on me. And as I'm growing up, I've also learned something. Listen carefully to the people who like to insult other people. Most of the things they are saying to you, they are about them. So it has nothing to do about you. So listen to the insult. And most of the time, they are telling you about them. That is why you don't have to respond, because by responding, you are accepting the negativity they are passing to you. You are accepting them, painting you as they see themselves. So listen to them carefully, because they are doing nothing but telling you about them. Whatever they are spitting has nothing to do with you, but has everything to do with them and their behavior. So listen, and don't give a response. Because if you respond, you are like them, and you are accepting, whatever crap they see themselves as, and then they painting it to you. Every successful person has a painful story. I never realized this until I got older. People have a tendency of thinking that successful people who have it all did not work and suffer for their success. I've learned that every successful person has a painful story, and every painful story has a successful ending. Accept the pain and get ready to enjoy the fruits of your success. The bad beginning, that's another lesson. As mentioned in my story, I had a bad beginning and my story was not promising. I learned that no one can go back and change the bad beginning, but anyone can start now and create a successful ending. Always create a successful ending. I like to say, when I talk to the youth and young people, Doesn't matter what happened to you. You might have been raped. You might have been infected with HIV and AIDS. Your heart might have been broken, but it doesn't justify you destroying yourself. Always, always decide to have a good ending. The start might be bad. I know a woman who was raped at the age of 7 by her own father. She wrote a book. The doctor said her womb would never keep any child. So even if she married, she can't have a child because her father destroyed, her own biological father destroyed it. And that woman had to forgive that man. She had to forgive him because it was her father. But she had to decide that time that the beginning might be bad, but the end is not supposed to be bad. So decide that the end will be what you want it to be and what will make you smile. Gold is heated to be perfect. One of my friend's child likes this saying: as human beings, we have a tendency of thinking that the tests and temptations will kill us. They don't. Instead, they make us strong. It is true that heated gold becomes a beautiful ornament. Beaten copper becomes wires and depleted stones become a statue. So, the more pain we get in life, the more we become stronger and vulnerable. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get out of the pain. Be a stronger person. Be a better person. You'll always have enemies. I've learned that people in life become your enemies long before you even realize it. Not everybody will love you. It does not matter how you try and make them like you or try and like them. They will continue to be your enemies. They just decide that they don't like you. In the Bible, almost all the men of God had enemies. Hence, there are scriptures that pray for the enemies. If a person decides to be your enemy, let them be. That is their choice in life. There's a saying that says, try and have more friends than enemies. I agree. However, you will not force those who choose to be enemies of you to be your friends. I have learned this through watching my mother. She tries to be a good person and not have enemies. She tries by all means to be a peacemaker and a woman of God. She is still accused of things even today. There are people who still hate you here for no apparent reason, because someone decided to be their enemy and her family's enemy long ago. I like her attitude though, because she says continue to do good, because all those weapons formed against you will return to the people who formed them in the first place. You know, at university there was a woman who really, really hated me, and I had never done anything to her. Then one wise lady who was in my cycle of friends went to ask her why she hated me. She just said she hasn't done anything to me, but I just hate her. I hate her character. I hate the way she smiles. Remember, my smile is beautiful. Who can hate my smile? Then I realized then that not everybody would like you. When you help a person, never expect a reward. This I learned the harsh way. When you help a person out of trouble, expect two responses. It is either the person will come back and thank you for helping them, or a person will avoid thanking you. Instead of thanking you, they will be your number one enemy. That is part of life, and do not stop helping people because of some people who are not grateful. Those people just assume or convince themselves that you had to help them anyway. It is worse when after helping them, they do nothing but want to take over your life. I guess there's a stage when they wish they were you and do not know how. And there was a wise man in Egypt when I was in Egypt who told me this. He said, you know, you have a heart that helps people. You have helped family members, you have helped friends, but do not expect a reward, because in the people you have helped most of the time, they are aware that you have helped them. But because they don't want to say thank you, they decide to be your enemies. That's life. But there is a God who rewards us for every good deed that we do in this life. Another lesson, which is, I guess, the last one, is do not just make it happen. One of my dreams that took longer to kick in was the release of this book, the book I'm sharing now. I decided to make it happen. How will I know if it will be accessed if I have not tried? Try. As long as you have a dream, try and fulfill it. Try and work it out. Never die without fulfilling your dream. I think I've shared a lot today on the lessons. This is the last lesson. I will proceed to other lessons, I think, in the book called Womanhood, and then now I will be sharing the chapters of the book. May God bless you.